Rolling.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are listening in from. Welcome to the Raw Mind Talk. My name is Gardner, and this is the episode where we deconstruct life principles, life concepts, life ideas, so that you're able to marry them into your own life and create a difference. And remember, we don't do this. We bring experts in the field. We bring people who are knowledgeable, people who understand, people who have spent years trying to do what they love best. And today I have one and only. He's my good friend, and most importantly, I love the work he does. His name is David Sempala. David Sempala is a Ugandan entrepreneur, an activist, and a leader in sustainability. He is the CEO of Royal Waves Media Limited, Executive Director of Sustainable Path Africa, and Regional Coordinator with the Climate Reality Project. David holds an MBA from the University of Leicester, alongside studies in social science and sustainability from Makerere University and Columbia University. With more than 15 years of experience in media, marketing, branding, and behavior change communication, he has worked with organizations such as the British Council and the European Union. Beyond his professional work, David is passionate about mentoring young people and he is an active Rotarian and a proud husband. Please join me to welcome David Sempala. So David, how are you?
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here.
Good to be here for the first time.
Yes, there's always a first time for everything.
There's always a first time for everything. And
I'm excited. I can't wait for this discussion on sustainability, on climate change, on entrepreneurship. I'm very sure our audience will be very, very happy to get that knowledge, to tap on your experience, and also learn a lot from you.
Absolutely.
So, David, first tell us, if there is somebody watching or listening in for the first time, how do you define yourself? What is your life purpose? What do you live for each and every day?
I think I always tell people I don't define myself by titles, much as you have mentioned them. I define myself with the things I believe in. For starters, I think I'm a father. I think that's the number one thing which God has given me, and I'm doing that one diligently. So I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a family person, before I go to society to do all these other things. So as a human being, I'm a family-oriented family. The family is very important to me. It's the foundation of everything I do in this town or in this world. So it's very rare that I go to South America or somewhere far, and I spend 24 hours without connecting with my family. I may fail to connect with my business or connect with the client, but my family is absolutely impossible. So that's how I do. But beyond that, I love business. It's part of the things which I do, but also I'm a very, very good person. I love sustainability, and I believe going forward, that's what I am more likely to engage more into than even business. Over the years, I've done more work in business landscape, but at the moment, I'm reducing more of my roles in that category and focusing more on sustainability.
Yes, David, when we talk about sustainability, remember here we have the Raw Mind Talk. We are raw, no scripts, no nothing. We just have a conversation and connect to have an understanding or certain principles that the audience can use, that we can also learn from. So I want you to take us through the journey, because I know sustainability is something that has just come to Africa. So growing up, how did you get to know it? What lured you? What pushed you? Because now you're saying you're trying to shift from these other things and putting more effort here. So how did it start?
So I probably didn't know that I was practicing sustainability. It's part of the things which Mind Heritage does. So how do you get your acts together? You're doing something, but you actually don't know that
you're doing it.
Yes. So I think that's how we started. But I think the real action back in during the time when the NRM was happening, we were very young, and we left Kampala, and because of the war, we were very young, 86. We went to a village in Mukono, and that's where my grandmother used to stay. So So we used to do a lot of work, cultivation, like a village kids, until the war ended before we came back to town. But I think sometimes in like 15 years ago, I got a chance to now tour the village where we used to move as young kids, and I could see one of the things that I saw is like a lot of green cover was taken by that time, because there are forests we used to fear when we were passing to walk in.
Yeah.
But then I go there 15, 20 years after, and I actually did not see any of this green cover. And to me, that was a kind of a turning point, and say, no, what is exactly happening? So it's from that time or that moment I started to engage myself into the sustainability world, and started reading more about it, and then I expanded it with the knowledges and the trainings which I did after. So, and then the more I got into it, the more I understood it better, and I actually realized that there's a role I need to play as an individual to get into this zone.
Here we normally have an idea of finding the idea. And for me, when you say growing up in Mukono, there is a forest that was there. And you go back 15 to 20 years and you realize that actually the forest is no longer there. Oh, the trees are reducing in number every day. For you, it was a problem. Now, after it became a problem, you went on to learn more about it. Now, that is where I want you to build out, because somebody might be out there and he looks at an opportunity, a problem in their community. You who found it, you saw it. How did you now start engaging to understand actually this is what is happening and this is what should be done?
I think always the first stage of anything you want starts from awareness creation. You need to give yourself a lot of knowledge on anything, literally anything. So if you ever want to learn about art, what do you do? If you're in your house this evening or this morning, and you realize that you love art, but you're not going to become an artist tomorrow. You understand? And then commercialize and become the top artist in the world. I think the first stage is to search for knowledge.
Absolutely.
Search for knowledge, search for information. And the era of the digital revolution we are living in, it's even much more easier. So you have to read about it, understand about it. And I think the more you get into the deep dive of the information you about that subject matter, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to appreciate, the more you're going to discover. So knowledge is enormous. I mean, I always hear many people, kind of battling why they need to go to school, because school is not created to only get jobs.
Yes.
Ideally, people have come up with that sort of mistake. I went to school for 15, 17 years and I'm not doing anything. School is not designed only for that. Yes, it's part of the thing, but school is also designed to acquire knowledge, transform knowledge, learn how to make decisions in life, and be able to explore and understand. And to me, I really, really love that. And I think that's, for me, the main purpose why a university is there, or any institution, is to ensure that, they impart that knowledge into someone. So when you get an idea which you want, so like I got sustainability, the first thing I do is to actually search for knowledge. Search for knowledge across all the spectrum of knowledge, where you can get those knowledge acquisition avenues. Could be books, reading books, going online, searching for people who are knowledgeable about the subject matter. And the more you get to understand it, then that's when you're going to appreciate, understand the real problem behind it, and probably come up with design solutions that reflects the society where you're living.
Yeah, I've heard in your bio, which I've happened to read, you talk about, you have a company that has an aspect of sustainability.
Yeah.
Was that idea or mindset from the challenge you faced, or it was coupled with also now information, and you felt for you to be able to give away to the community, you needed a firm foundation, maybe an organization to start to spread the gospel, or it was picked from somewhere?
Yeah, I think by the time I started the sustainability agenda, I already had a profit-making organization, Royal Media, which does communication and marketing for different clients. So I think the first thing we did was to set, I think, 2% of our profits, and it was ring-fenced to environment and sustainability. That was the first set of action. So we used to do this either the profits we get, we invest them into green growth avenues, or we partner with different places, different organizations like Rotary clubs. So 2% of that money goes into society in a way.
Yeah.
But we realize that we are not necessarily in control of what exactly happening. So we decided to start a non-profit, and the non-profit is called Sustainable Path Africa, and that's the one we use as a foundation for us to spread the gospel about sustainability, but also to take actions which we do in society.
Yes, if you've just tuned in, remember we are with David Sempala, and one of the organizations he owns is Sustainable Path Africa, right? Yes, and he's into sustainability. But as we dive deeper, I want you to tell me, because when you read about sustainability, for me, it tackles three aspects: the me, the you, and the us. The me is when I believe that it starts with me. The us, maybe it's an organization, it's a company, then we all generally bring our efforts together. What are some of the challenges that you're seeing that we are facing in this notion of sustainability that actually many of us are not doing, but supposed to be doing?
I think you would say the biggest challenge you have at the moment, we have two sets of challenges, but kind of they are intertwined. So you have the knowledge gaps that exist, and there are people in this world, and I'm talking about, because sustainability is a global movement now, and it's affecting us all, whether you are a big person, but it's affecting us all. So very few people are actually very aware what climate change issues are all about. And some people believe it's created by foreigners. Some people believe that it's a movement that has been created by certain guys in the boardroom. We have no sayers in sustainability world. People who actually do not believe. But ideally, knowledge is one of the biggest challenges, but also the sets of actions that have to be done. So, but I think the first stage has to be knowledge.
Knowledge, yes.
So many people actually do not understand that climate change issues, which brings sustainability into the whole game, because sustainability originates from a challenge. A challenge is climate change. Climate change literally is, you could say in a layman's language, it's the change of weather conditions after a long period of time, between 15 to 30 years. So if you realize that probably Kabale is a little more warmer the way it used to be 30 years ago. If somebody is listening from Kabale, he will know that, and he has lived in Kabale 30 years before and 30 years now. He will realize that Kabale is not the way it used to be 30, 40 years ago. So you have so many signs that show us that there's a lot of climate change issues, things like the floods that are happening, the irrational rainfall we are getting. We have a lot of our crop yield, the level of crop yield we have in the world or in our garden is not the same. The number of pests and diseases we have in our garden is not the same. So if you realize there is a pattern of change that happened 15 to 30 years ago, literally in a layman's language, that's what climate change is. But it is caused by something.
Yes.
So literally it is caused by something. And once you understand the causes, then you will get to come into the sustainability world. Because sustainability world, that's where the solutions are. Yes.
Now you're talking about the pest, you're talking about the crops, you're talking about the farming more or less, and how it has grown and transformed. I remember those days because my father is a farmer and I used to see him, and he still says it. He used to buy seeds, and those seeds actually do not even need pesticide. You just plant them. Within the season they grow up and you harvest, sell and replant. But today he says there is something that is quite fascinating. More or less of every seed you buy, it comes with a pesticide, it comes with this, it comes with that. Even the quality of the products. Yes, they appear to be good and multiply so easily, but the taste also
Has
different.
changed.
So when you talk about sustainability now, in our next episode, as we come back after a short break, I want us now to dive into what you did not tackle but said about it. Where is the problem? There is somebody who is responsible.
Exactly.
So we shall be discussing who is responsible for what when it comes to sustainability. Please don't go away.
Thank you.